Well, we've been talking about the Canadian stock market being at an all-time high. Part of that is a hope that the Canadian economy is finding some resilience, even in the face of all the uncertainty, like with trade. But new data from the Canadian Federation of Independent Business has found that there are some recession fears in the air. Their chief economist is joining us now with some perspective on what they are seeing. Simon Gaudreau, nice to have you with us, Simon. Walk us through the numbers as you see them sort of moving into the second half of the year here.
What we're seeing is an estimate of a contraction of 0.8% of GDP for Q2 of this year, and the same for Q3. So we provide short-term forecasts, and we believe that's also probably something that's more accurate to do in the current context. Very hard to predict, even in the short term, what's gonna happen next, let alone for the long term. What we've seen in our forecasts and our estimates is that a lot of businesses are worried about what might come next. There is a lot of uncertainty at the moment, and it puts a lot of investment projects and hiring on pause at small, medium-sized businesses in Canada. And that's what may explain also, without those important components, why we have weaker perspectives for the economy.
Okay, so I guess with obviously the ongoing trade dialogue between the U.S. and Canada, and that's a piece of uncertainty, and we just heard all the premiers weighing in this week. They were, talking about what we can do for the economy. What's the message from your organization on what the government should be considering right now?
Well, first of all, a deal would come a long way into bringing back some certainty. We're not saying a deal at all costs, but we've certainly seen a lot of fogginess in the past few months, and that's not good for business owners. They cannot plan, they cannot hire. Even for some of them, there is increasing costs of those tariffs that have been put in place so far by the U.S. government, and even more businesses are actually impacted by the counter tariffs that the Canadian government has put in place. The Canadian government hasn't announced any sort of mechanism to return some of that counter tariff revenue to the most affected businesses. So just that would really be able to help perhaps some of the most impacted businesses. And parallel to that, there is, of course, parallel to lifting the uncertainty and making sure that there is a resolution to this trade war, there is this idea of making sure that we have a competitive business environment in Canada. I think that's what the premiers have been working on with the federal government, for example, tearing down the trade barriers. That was urgent before the trade war, and it was needed yesterday. So we're pleased to see some movement on that, but we're hoping that things will even accelerate from here.